the top priority is really local groups, where people, knock on doors and bring new people into the movement. And, thanks to all of you, we came within, a hair's breadth of winning the primary here a year ago. And you did an awesome job. But, the only but would be, now we're looking, as I like to say, through the windshield, not through the rearview mirror. And, since then, more people have come, as we just heard, to the major goals, whether it's here in Massachusetts, of a living wage, paid family leave, millionaire's tax to help fund education. The whole agenda we have, single-payer health care. You've seen that polls, right, and the popularity. We're not just fighting Trump. Tens of millions of people are doing that. We're trying to paint a picture, just like this banner, of what our revolution looks like, of what a progressive America looks like. It can't just be resistance, and believe me, resistance is a huge word to me from early on in my life. But it's not just resistance in terms of fighting Trump, right? It's fighting for a different kind of America, an America based on racial and economic and environmental and social justice. And that's what brings us all together here tonight. And when I talk about being here tonight, so not only will you get pizza, and not only do you get an armband, hopefully you all have them, if not, your names need to go on a list, so that gets you in without waiting, but the likelihood is about 90% you will have Bernie visit here before he goes to the Orpheum Theater. So go text that out. This is Bernie's full, and COVID was 70 leaders, 30 more of our revolution here in Massachusetts. And we won't have a lot of minutes with him, but what we do want to do is get in front of this banner and get a group picture. Even if he doesn't speak at all, you'll hear him in there. I'm going to make sure, and Rand will make sure, that we get him in this picture. I told him that ahead of time. We heard it. One major goal here, and they'll hear you later. They've heard it before. So one major goal. So you get in front of this picture, and we take a group picture so that our revolution, Massachusetts. So, all right, so let me come back to the agenda and what our revolution is trying to do. And lots of bumps in the road, and we can take questions. The local groups is really the key. Because if we got 13 million votes in the primary, and Clinton got 68 million votes in the general election, the question is, particularly in Midwestern states, but even here, when we talk about primaries ahead, we talk about people like Brother Connolly, who I know we played a small role in helping him win that primary. And a shout out to the other electeds that are here, because again, it's not just what we've done, where are we headed together? But I do remember Connolly and his election and how excited we were that night. But it's not just about that. It's about really, again, going forward, as we just heard, how do we build a progressive Democratic Party here in Massachusetts? It's not to say that lots of people in that structure weren't progressive before, but your goal that you guys, Nancy and Elvin, are on, and lots of other people in this room, is that it's clearly a progressive party. And again, I don't like to be too negative, but I was heavily involved in the Keith Ellison election, and spent everything I do is volunteer, like the people in this room. I had 39 years at CWA. I got a decent union pension, so I'm a volunteer like all of you. So when you beat up on me in a few minutes about the things you don't like about our revolution, just remember, volunteer. It's a volunteer. It's a volunteer. And in fact, I told Bernie, no, Bernie, I'm not getting a paycheck from you. I love you, but I'm not working for you. I'm volunteering for you, just like millions of other people. So in any case, the local groups are the way that we get broader, not just deeper. So in CWA, we used to talk about this for years, hopefully still do. Broader means we're getting more people in the movement. And deeper means many of the people are spending more minutes, as I like to say, more time to help build something. But we can't just get deeper. Lots of groups, when they organize, they ask people to do more and more and more. And Rand's probably doing that all the time here. He does it to me. And I'm a volunteer, right, Rand?
I'm a volunteer.
That's right, in this capacity. But in any case, the broader is something we shouldn't forget. And what does broader mean in Massachusetts? It means those convention delegates getting more and more and more than there. It means in each town, so we can elect more and more people like us, who are not just Democrats, that's fine, but who are progressives. The word progressive for us, as it does in PDA, comes first, right? We're progressive Democrats. It can't just be, well, we're better than they are, especially in a state like Massachusetts. you know. And, you know, in California, we are gearing up for single payer. One day, that should be something we can achieve here, right? The single payer healthcare. Bernie was a sponsor, as many as you know, as an amendment that would have passed to say that, and you know, Canada is not very far away from here, at least compared to where I live. And the idea that people should be able to bring their drugs, their pharmaceuticals, I shouldn't use the word drugs. Yeah, that's legal, but the import of pharmaceuticals is not. Something's wrong with that picture, I think. But, you know, 14 Democrats in the Senate voted no on that. And we have to, and I don't think that was true of either of yours, but it was, you know, I spent a lot of my time in New Jersey, 20 years, and both of them voted wrong. And many other Democrats across the country voted wrong. And we won't let Cory Booker forget that when he tells us how to work. And it was the New Jersey Pharmaceutical Association and Merck. And so, anyway, to stay on track a little bit, not too much, because I'm stalling for Bernie anyway. He's running a little bit late. But we start out with the local groups and do real organizing, actually get people to join, particularly your local group. And then secondly, we band those groups together. So in about 10 states, we have not done this everywhere, we have things like this, a statewide network. You know, we have the Bernie delegates, and we have electeds in there, and we have great volunteers in there, and people that are leading on particular issue campaigns in there, and ballot measures, state network. So that's what we have here. And then the third thing is issues. Maybe that's the first thing. So we have local groups, state network, we have issues like the issues you heard about. We have enter the Democratic Party, but that doesn't just mean sign up on the Democrat, it means enter it and get people elected to lead the Democratic Party across this state. And the fourth thing is obviously candidates and ballot measures. So when you have these local groups, you know, whether it's Somerville or Cambridge or